Hi everyone, I am Kristen, the Food Bank dietitian, and we are in the Kaiser Permanente Learning Kitchen at the Atlanta Community Food Bank. Today, we are celebrating the 20th anniversary of UPTV by celebrating National UPlift Someone Day, which is on October 30th. So what better way to uplift someone than to prepare a warm meal for them? To do that, I'm going to invite our guest chef on. This is Chef Kristol. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. It's so great to be here.
Absolutely. Chef Kristol is the host of City Eats Atlanta on ASPIREtv, and she's going to prepare a meal for us today.
Yes, I mean, what better way to prepare a meal, like you said, but that's my love language.
Exactly. I might not buy you a gift, but I will cook you a meal and bring it to your house.
And I don't need you to come in the kitchen to wash the dishes either. So this is one of my son's favorite. Now, it's a warm, hearty meal, especially for this time of year. I mean, it's cold outside. So I love preparing this type of meal, plus it's one pot. So you're not using a whole bunch of dishes.
There is nothing better than a one pot meal. And friends, if you are visiting a food pantry and you end up with like a butternut squash like this, do you know what you're doing with it? If you don't, Chef is going to show you how to use it, how to cook it, and how to cut it today.
Yes. So today we're making a coconut curry stew.
Yes.
And I did this kind of bland. I didn't put a specific name on it because you could pair this with almost anything. You could adjust your chickpeas or your butternut squash. So I just wanted to make a basic soup or stew recipe and then adjust it to how your family would love it.
Exactly. And that really just applies to what's in your pantry, right? What you got in your pantry, you can make this stew. Just make sure you got butternut squash.
So I turned my pan on, or my pot, before we got started, so we can have some heat. But we're going to go with a medium heat, and we're going to start about 2 tablespoons of oil. And so
we've got, awesome. What is there a particular oil that we're using?
Well, I just like to use a blended oil. I really don't like to use olive oils in this just because we have the coconut milk and I just don't like them too flavorful.
The flavor, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
So I just like to use something plain and basic. If you want to use a coconut oil, you can, or avocado, but I just blended oil. You're going to get a lot of flavors from the seasoning.
Yes, Chef.
And so we have 1 onion here. It was small, so we're going to put our onion here and start. What I want to say is the caramelizing process, but we're just going to get some color on it because caramelizing it, you're releasing them sugars, you're getting some color on it, and you're going to bring some sweetness to the dish.
Absolutely. I always talk about how to add flavor without adding too much salt.
Yes.
So brown equals flavor, right?
Brown equals flavor.
Brown equals flavor.
And people get scared when they see things that's a little browner than what they normally would do it. That's just more sugars coming out. That's more caramelization happening, and that's what we want. We want that caramelization happening.
Exactly.
So we're going to add this in with our onions because we do want to get some color because butternut squash, you associate that with some sweetness.
Absolutely.
And it's a good winter vegetable. It's a good fall winter vegetable, and it's so versatile in its use. You could make soups or stocks or creams, stews out of it. So I love using butternut squash. And so while we have that on, I guess I have my heat too low.
That's okay.
We're going to show people actually how to cut a butternut squash. I know it looks scary. It's like awkward.
It's awkward. Where do you even start?
So, I mean, I like to start by cutting the tops and the bottoms.
Okay.
So you want to have a flat surface to actually cut your butternut squash. But like I said, it's an awkward shape. So I like to cut the bulb off just because the bulb is where it has the seeds at. And we're going to show people how to utilize those seeds.
Absolutely.
So typically when you cut or slice or peel anything, it's an octagon and you want to do it in 8 ways. So you just go straight down and then you kind of overlap. So you can make sure you're getting all that rind and you're making nice clean cuts.
So you're cutting down to the darker color of the the meat, if you will. Yeah. And you're trying to get those green lines off the sides, right?
Yes, yes, you don't want that. Now, if you're dealing with another squash, like acorn squash, which you can eat the skin.
That's got the like bumpy sides.
Yes,
yeah. They are so good.
See, I'm a vegetable girl, so
Yeah.
so you can eat that, but this you really don't want that skin. It's not edible. It's obtrusive, and it just doesn't taste well. See.
It's just really tough, and it won't like cook down for you even after you cook it.
So after we get it to this point, you can do whatever you want. You can dice it, you can slice it down, you can cut it in rings, or I like to slice mine down this way. That's why we flatten the sides, so we could just go ahead and dice it down.
Yeah.
Or you could. We were talking about air fryers. You can put it in your air fryer.
We talked about everything before the camera started rolling. Yes, air fry it, put it in your air fryer, freeze it for another day when you don't have time to cook it today.
And then this is the bowl. This is the part I think people get scared of the most. I mean, that was pretty easy, and you just want to do the same thing. I know, curve your knife around to actually get that rind off.
Yeah, you're gonna follow the shape of the not eggplant. So sorry, I've been doing a lot of videos on like eggplant, butternut squash. It's fall.
It's fall. It is fall. It's okay.
We cook a lot around here.
We do. And then you just cut it down, and then you see all them seeds right there.
It's just like the inside of a pumpkin, right?
Right. And
your scraps.
You take the scraps.
I got you.
Appreciate that. And you just, do we have a spoon so we can scoop this out?
Yeah, we can use that.
So you take a spoon and you just scoop this out. It's just like a pumpkin, like you said. And
Yeah.
look, that is not trash, people.
No, it's not. That is like, that's where all the healthy fats are in the butternut squash. So if you've ever looked at the nutrition of a squash and it says that there's fat in it, it's because the seeds are going to give you good healthy fats.
So I actually never roasted butternut squash seeds, but
yeah,
I would love to do that, and they probably taste like pumpkin seeds.
It does taste exactly the same because they're just cousins. They're just cousin squash. And their seeds taste the same, so you can treat them exactly like pumpkin seeds. You can do acorn squash as long as they're not too tiny. If they're tiny, then they're just gonna burn before they get to the nice toasty stage that you want to eat. But yes, absolutely.
And you can season them with whatever you want.
You can season them however.
This I would do something like olive oil with, and just toast it off in the oven.
Yeah.
Do you smell it?
I do. I always joke around. I'm like, I wish you could smell this. What are we smelling? We're smelling onions right now. Butternut squash doesn't have too much scent.
No. No, it doesn't. But when I was doing this recipe, I was like, where's my aromatics coming in at? Because there's no garlic in here, no ginger. But it is in the curry spice that we're going to use.
Yes,
so
yes.
Don't worry, people. We do have aromatics going in here.
It's
seasoned.
And
so,
it is a great blanket recipe.
Yeah,
and that's how I like to make my recipes too, because we're limited, right? And how much we can ask someone to source to cook a dish.
Yes.
So you take your seasonings that you love and add it to the basic foundation of the recipe.
We're just giving you something to look forward to, but you can adjust it or change it to whatever you want. It's just like an outfit. You can put different shoes on.
There you go. Accessorize it.
I know, right?
Your spices are your accessories.
Your spices are your accessories. I love
That's
it.
super cute.
I gotta use that. So once you get some color on here, and the onions start to sweat out and you smell the aromatics coming out, you want to take your chickpeas, which you don't have to worry about them going bad. They do have an expiration date, but it's years from now.
Yeah, and it's even years after the expiration date on the can. You're good with your cans.
Make sure you rinse it off. I do not like that. that is preserved in. So all you got to do is rinse it off, and then you want to add that actually to your pot.
So they're going to get a little toasty also.
They're going to get a little toasty also. And before we add any liquid, we're going to add our seasoning, because you do want them, it just adds more depth of flavor when you're toasting your spices and your seasonings.
I agree so much. I agree. Don't add your seasonings before you add your liquid.
Yes. Because you want your, whatever you have in a pot or whatever you're cooking, you want that season. If you add it afterwards, you're seasoning the sauce and not the protein or the meat or the vegetable.
So this dish, as it's written, it is vegan, so there's no animal products in it. However, you can add some chicken if you want to, if you're a carnivore. Or if you got some that you got from the food pantry. We've got some canned chicken here that we will add to it just to bump up the protein. And then you can also use 2 cans of chickpeas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can up the chickpeas, or like you said, add lean chicken to it.
Mm-hmm.
It just gives it more texture, more flavor. And I'm a vegetable girl, but everybody in my house don't want vegetables. They want some chicken. They want some actual meat.
Where's the meat?
In their dish. And right before I add the chicken, I am going to add a tablespoon of honey to this. It just depends on how sweet that actual squash is.
Yeah.
But you want to create a balance. Desserts have salt. Savory dishes have sugar.
Yes, it is all about the balance. So you don't have too much spice, you know.
It's all about the balance. And I love that we're doing this for National UPlift Someone Day. I mean, there's so many people out there that you could just do one thing for that it doesn't take a lot to do.
Absolutely. And we all have our skills. We all have the things that we're good at. So maybe it's like volunteering your time. If you've got some extra time at your local food pantry, or here at the food bank, coming to help us sort food in the Hunger Action Center. Or if you're like me, you're like Chef Kristol, we like to cook. We're talking about how we like to cook alone in the kitchen. It's our decompress time. Let me do my chopping, let me do my cooking, and then you can spread the love.
I know, right? And this pot, you could probably spread it to 6 to 8 people. Absolutely. Or more.
Absolutely. For sure. This is going to make a nice hearty pot of stew.
And you know what? I was about to add the coconut milk. I'm not adding the coconut milk first. I'm going to add the tomato sauce.
Okay.
But you could suck this out. You can use tomato paste, like you said. You can use diced tomatoes. I know in my pantry, I have diced tomatoes. I keep diced tomatoes. I just love it.
Yes. That's one of those staple ingredients, or any tomato product. Like if you don't have a jar of spaghetti sauce, you can make spaghetti out of some type of tomato that comes from a can.
Yes, you can. So we're going to incorporate that, and then we're going to add our coconut milk. Now, I know people are thinking it tastes like a pina colada. Coconut milk does not taste like a pina colada.
You're missing some things there to make
it's really
like
not that sweet. I am not a coconut fan, but I love coconut. It has tremendous health values. It gives you the good fats. And
it's actually easier for you to digest.
Yes. And so is the turmeric. It has such good nutritional values to it. And once you do that,
put the lid. Are we putting the lid on it? Leaving the lid off?
You can put the lid on. I like to just, because I like to watch it, kind of, sort of. While I said, when I'm by myself, I like to put on some music while I'm dancing in the house.
So you might not hear it.
So, and you just cook that for like 15, 20 minutes. You taste it. You adjust the seasoning. Yeah. And then we have our gravy. If you ever watch me, you see I eat spinach, I eat arugula. I did watch you.
She was prepping earlier and she was like, little bit of kale, little bit of kale.
My kids call me a rabbit. So I'm always eating something green or leafy, but you want to add that to the every day. You don't want that to die. You don't want to reach all the nutrition.
Just needs a little bit of wilt, right?
Right
There at the end.
Right at the end. And so that's it. I mean, I love this dish. My son loves it. I mean, anybody that has a palate or has a nose.
Adventurous taste, right?
If you smell this, you're going to want to eat this. And you know what? We added chicken to this, but you can also add like a jasmine rice or a brown rice to this to make it a little bit more heartier.
I was going to ask you about that. If you want to serve something, serve it on top of something. And so you could really serve it on rice. I mean, like if you got noodles, you could make it like a coconut noodle soup. So you have options. You don't have to stick to what you think a stew should be served on, right?
Right.
I mean, thinking outside of the box.
And that's what I love about this recipe. Like I said, you can adjust it. I know my son loves it, but I don't know if my daughters would like it so much. So
yeah.
I know my husband definitely want to eat this.
Yeah.
So this would not be a dish for him, but I know if I adjusted some of the ingredients in it, he would love it.
Understood. My husband's a little picky too. But so I wanted to, this is a really hard vegetable to cut, but it doesn't take as long to cook.
It doesn't. But people, see, my thing is, you think it's hard. It actually is more tender than a sweet potato is, and you can switch it out. I know most people are more versatile with sweet potatoes, but anytime I try to cut sweet potatoes, it's like putting my knife through a brick wall. It's just like you gotta sledgehammer the sweet potato to get it cut. This is actually a little softer than a sweet potato is, or you could use carrots. I mean, like I said, you can adjust this recipe in so many different ways.
Absolutely. So if you use the sweet potatoes, you would take the skin off it just like this, dice it up, cook it the same way.
Same carrots, peel them, cook it. They all have sweetness to them.
Yes.
They all have this unctuousness to it, this earthiness. So they all are in the same type of family and will give you that same type of desired taste that you want. But it's what you're more comfortable with.
And nutritionally, they're very similar because they're all orange. So you're getting the similar antioxidants, the orange antioxidants. There's red, there's yellow. There's different antioxidants for different colors. And that's why we always say eat the rainbow when you can, because you get different nutrition from different colors. It's real.
It is.
It's real to eat the rainbow.
And that's the same thing with the stew. If you see, we have the white from the onion, we have the orange from the butternut squash, we have the green from the kale. So we are actually adding them colors into the actual dish and making it healthy. And most people, if they hear healthy, they think nasty, they think bland, and this is not it.
No.
This is not it. Healthy does not mean that you have to be bland or it doesn't taste good. It's actually more healthier than anything else you eat and has more flavor to it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't tend to use the word healthy. I'll say things like, it supports your health. It supports your health because it does. Some food supports your health. Some food does not support your health. Or there's food in the middle, that does a little bit of both. There's a time and a place for all of it. It all fits. I'm a dietitian. I'm not going to tell you that you can never eat cake again, because you can. Just don't eat it every single day, right? It all fits.
Well, I found out even with eating healthy foods, you can't overindulge. It does something to you. You still have to eat that in moderation or change it or switch it up. So everything is in moderation. Everything is good. But, I did make some earlier.
You sure did, because we're doing TV magic, right?
We are doing TV magic.
Okay. We're going to slide this over and show you this final product.
So I'm going to actually finish this. We're going to move this. No, I'm not going to move this. We're going to move this over. I'm just adding the kale to it to finish it off. And like you've been saying this whole time, It's just uplifting someone, one dish at a time, one kind act at a time. For us at UPTV and Aspire, that's going to be October 30th.
October 30th is the day.
It's the day. And teaming up, I remember working at the food bank. I used to work at the food bank when I was like 7, 8, because my mom worked at the food bank.
Oh.
So we would go to the food bank and we would work down there. And so I know how special it is to come to the food bank and actually work and see the people you help. And that's the same thing with making this dish. Is helping people and making them feel good about themselves.
Absolutely.
Look at that.
That is beautiful. So pretty.
See,
It just looks like it's gonna fill in all of the little cracks in your stomach. Does that make sense?
I mean,
it's gonna fill it all the way up.
I'm giving you the big spoon.
Okay.
Because I've been eating it already. So let's
right here. Okay.
all right,
Cheers.
cheers.
That's it.
That's it.
Even with the basic seasonings that we used, I see the space for other ones. This is a good place to start. You know what I mean?
This is 9 ingredients or less though. Look, she challenged me. 9 ingredients or less, including the salt and oil. So this is so flavorful.
This is the basic version of what you can add your preferences to at home.
I know.
We all have our own taste, right?
We do. But you know what? I don't even know. I got this pot right here. I'm gonna just eat this.
Oh yeah, I'll take this one.
You take that one and I take this one.
This is so good, Chef. Thank you so much for sharing this recipe.
I appreciate it. It was a challenge, but I think it's a really great dish. It's really something that would fill somebody, like you said, it fills all the spots and it fills the heart.
Absolutely.
And, you know, you couldn't get no better than this.
I don't think there's a better way to uplift someone than to feed them.
No. That's
my opinion. That's my opinion.
That's our love language.
It's our love language. We're gonna feed you. But there's a lot of different ways to do it, right?
It is. Yeah.
So we were talking about our skills, like where's your skills? How can you use that to help someone else around you, right? So you can go to upliftsomeoneday.com and learn about some other ways that you can get involved with the holiday.
October the 30th.
On October the 30th. And you can, we're thinking about ways to uplift. We can volunteer a time. So if you've got some time, you can come volunteer with us here at the Atlanta Community Food Bank and visit our website. And then maybe you have more money than you have time. Some of us do. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Some of us do.
Some of us.
So every $1 that you donate to the food bank can provide up to 3 meals for our neighbors who are facing food insecurity.
See.
And that is 1 in 8 people in our service area who do not always have enough food to serve on their table for each meal. So $1 actually goes a long way.
It does. It goes a long way. And the food scarcity in America that y'all highlighting and actually providing meals for people. I mean, you know how many kids go hungry in school every day because it's just so expensive to eat nowadays.
Yeah.
So
this is a way that you can support your neighbors, even if you're not directly, able to be there right, to provide the service to them. And then last but not least, you can find the recipe. Yeah, we're going to definitely share the recipe with you because, you can make it off of, eyeballing it, but we're going to share some measurements with you so you know how much to use.
Yeah, I don't, because y'all not going to blame me if it don't come out right because you eyeballed it. So we wrote a recipe. But the good thing is you did do everything out of the pantry. So a lot of it was canned items. So yes, it's good. canned items can be good at times.
Absolutely. And sometimes that's what you have, and we can make it fit in nutritious and filling dishes. So you can find the recipe here. You can scan this QR code with your phone, or you can go to the link here. The bit.ly link, we'll have that link in the caption, so you can click it if you need to. And I just want to say thanks again, Chef, for being here. This was really fun.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
We share a love of food and feeding people, and
We
it
do.
was perfect for National UPlift Someone Day.
Yes.
Yeah.
You uplift someone every day.
Every single day. It
See,
doesn't
you
have to
uplift
just
me. You uplift me. I just love it.
Not only October 30th.
Not only on October 30th, but on October 30th.
Definitely. Okay, friends, we'll see you later. We hope you tried this dish and uplift someone today and tomorrow.